It was a quiet Monday morning, and Anna was on her usual commute to work. The subway car was crowded, filled with tired faces and the sound of faint music leaking from someone's headphones. Anna adjusted her bag and sat down on a seat that had just been vacated. As she reached for her book, something caught her eye, a small red notebook lying on the seat beside her. It looked slightly worn, with a black elastic band keeping it shut. She glanced around to see if anyone seemed to be looking for it, but no one appeared to notice. Anna hesitated for a moment. "Should I pick it up? It might belong to someone who needs it," she thought. Curiosity got the better of her. She picked up the notebook and carefully opened it. The first page was simple. "My name is, I live in." The handwriting was neat, but written in English. Anna furrowed her brow. English wasn't her strongest subject, but she recognized the basics. She flipped to the next page, where she found another phrase. "What is your favorite color?" Anna smiled to herself. It looks like someone was using this to practice English, she thought. The following pages contained similar simple sentences and questions. "How are you today? What time is it?" Suddenly, the train jerked to a stop at the next station. Anna looked up, realizing her stop was next. She quickly slipped the notebook into her bag and stood up. As she walked to work, the notebook stayed on her mind. Who had left it, and why were there only simple phrases inside? Something about it felt oddly intriguing. By the time Anna reached her desk, she had made up her mind. During her lunch break, she would take another look and see if there were any clues about the owner. At lunch, Anna found a quiet corner in the office break room and pulled the red notebook out of her bag. She flipped through the pages again, taking her time this time to read each line carefully. One page had the sentence, "Do you like music?" Underneath, someone had written an answer, "Yes, I do. I like pop music." It made her chuckle. It's like having a conversation with a stranger, she thought. Then she noticed a folded note tucked between two pages. She unfolded it, revealing another handwritten line. "Meet me at the park at 3 p.m. Anna froze. The park today? She checked the clock on her phone. It was already 2:30 p.m. She wasn't sure why, but something about the message intrigued her. It felt like an invitation, as though the owner of the notebook had left it for someone to find. Without overthinking, she grabbed her coat and decided to visit the park after work. At exactly 3 p.m., Anna stood near the fountain in the center of the park. The area was busy with joggers, children playing, and people walking their dogs. She felt a little silly standing there, notebook in hand, not knowing what to expect. "Maybe I'm overthinking this," she murmured to herself. But just as she was about to leave, she noticed something strange. On one of the park benches, a small envelope was taped to the underside of the seat. Anna hesitated, but then crouched down to pull it free. Inside the envelope was a small note written in the same neat handwriting. "Look under the bench." She quickly checked under the bench and found another folded piece of paper. This one read, "What do you see?" Anna looked around, unsure how to respond. She glanced at the notebook and decided to write back in one of the blank pages, "I see people, trees, and the fountain." When she finished, she felt a small sense of accomplishment. The act of writing in English felt exciting, even if she wasn't sure where this was all leading. She sat on the bench for a while, looking at the notebook and wondering who had left it there and why. As Anna sat on the park bench, holding the notebook and the mysterious notes, she couldn't shake the feeling that this was more than a coincidence. The writing, the instructions, it all seemed intentional. She flipped back to the last page she had written on, where she had answered, "I see people, trees, and the fountain." Her eyes caught something she hadn't noticed before, faint markings on the opposite page, as though someone had written and erased something. She tilted the notebook under the sunlight, and the faint words became slightly clearer. "Ask someone for help. Ask someone," Anna whispered to herself. She looked around, scanning the park. She spotted a vendor selling coffee nearby and decided to give it a try. Approaching the vendor, she hesitated, but then gathered her courage. "Excuse me," she said slowly. "Can you help me?" The vendor, a middle-aged man with a warm smile, nodded. "Of course. What do you need?" Anna thought for a moment and decided to show him the note from the envelope. "Do you know who left this here?" she asked, pointing to the words, "Look under the bench." The man chuckled. "Ah, I've seen people leave things like this before. It's some kind of game, I think. People follow clues around the city. Maybe it's part of that." Anna frowned. "A game?" The man shrugged. "Could be. Or maybe someone's trying to teach English in a creative way. Who knows?" He handed her a coffee. "Good luck with your mystery." Thanking him, Anna walked back to the bench. As she sipped her coffee, she flipped through the notebook again, hoping for another clue. Finally, on one of the last pages, she found something. "Can you follow the words to the end?" "What does that mean?" She wondered aloud. It felt like an invitation to keep going, but where? The notes so far had all led her somewhere, first the park, then the bench. She realized she needed to look for more written clues. Returning to the bench, Anna examined it closely. On the back of one of the slats, she spotted a small sticker she had missed before. It was a tiny handwritten note. "Go to the cafe across the street." Anna's pulse quickened. She glanced across the street and saw the cafe, a cozy-looking place with outdoor seating and a sign that read, "Daily Brew." Gathering her things, she crossed the street, excitement and curiosity building with each step. The cafe was warm and inviting, with the smell of fresh coffee and pastries filling the air. Anna approached the counter, unsure of what to do next. "Excuse me," she said to the barista. "Did someone leave something here? A note, maybe?" The barista looked puzzled for a moment, but then nodded. "Oh, you mean the notebook thing? Yeah, someone said someone else would come asking. Here." She handed Anna another small envelope. Inside was another message. "You're almost there. Ask about the stranger." Anna was now fully immersed in the mystery. She thanked the barista and took a seat by the window. The stranger? Who could that be? She flipped through the notebook again, hoping for answers. Anna sat in the cafe, the notebook open in front of her and the latest note in her hand. The words, "Ask about the stranger," echoed in her mind. She scanned the room, wondering who or what the note was referring to. Taking a deep breath, she decided to ask the barista for more information. "Excuse me," she began hesitantly. "Do you know who left this for me?" She held up the envelope. The barista shook her head. "No, sorry. But they did mention you'd recognize them when the time came." Anna frowned, feeling more puzzled than ever. She returned to her seat and looked out the window, trying to piece everything together. Just then, the door to the cafe opened, and a tall figure wearing a gray coat stepped in. They scanned the room briefly before their eyes landed on Anna and the red notebook on the table. The stranger approached slowly, a warm but uncertain smile on their face. "Is that mine?" they asked in English, pointing to the notebook. Anna nodded, her heart racing. "Yes, I found it on the subway." The stranger sighed in relief and sat down across from her. "Thank you for keeping it safe. I thought I'd lost it forever." Anna hesitated. "This notebook is interesting. Why did you leave all those notes?" The stranger laughed softly. "Oh, I didn't leave them for you. I left them for myself." "For yourself?" Anna asked, confused. The stranger nodded. "I'm learning English. Writing these sentences and creating little challenges helps me practice. But when I lost the notebook, I thought all that effort was gone. It looks like you followed my clues instead." Anna laughed, finally understanding. "So this was all an accident?" "Yes, but maybe a lucky one," the stranger said. "It seems like you've been practicing English too. How did you find it?" Anna explained everything, finding the notebook, following the clues, and even asking the coffee vendor for help. The stranger listened attentively, smiling as she spoke. "You've done really well," they said. "Your English is very good." Anna felt a flush of pride. "Thanks. It was actually fun. I never thought learning English could feel like this." The stranger reached into their coat and pulled out a pen. "Since you've come this far, would you like to write the final entry in the notebook?" Anna hesitated for a moment, then smiled. "Sure." She opened the notebook to a blank page and wrote, "I met the stranger today. We had coffee together. It was a good day." The stranger laughed softly as they read her words. "Perfect," they said. As they finished their coffee, Anna felt a sense of accomplishment, not just for solving the mystery, but for pushing herself to use English in ways she never had before. Before they parted, the stranger handed her a small card with an email address. "If you want, we can keep practicing together. Writing letters is a great way to learn." Anna smiled. "I'd like that. Thanks for the adventure." As Anna walked home that evening, the events of the day played over in her mind. The red notebook, the clues, and finally meeting the stranger. It all felt like something out of a story. But what stuck with her most was how much she had learned. She pulled out the notebook and flipped to the page where she had written earlier, "I met the stranger today. We had coffee together. It was a good day." Reading it again made her smile. It was simple, but it felt like a huge step in her English journey. She had always struggled with the language, but today had shown her that learning didn't have to feel like hard work. Anna thought about the phrases she had used throughout the day. "Excuse me, can you help me? Where is? Thank you." Each one had been a small victory, and with every interaction, she had grown a little more confident. When she got home, Anna sat at her desk and opened her laptop. She took out the card the stranger had given her and typed an email. "Hello, thank you for today. It was fun, and I learned a lot. I hope we can practice English together soon. Best wishes, Anna." She hit send and leaned back in her chair, feeling a sense of pride and excitement. This is just the beginning, she thought. With the notebook still in her hands, she decided to keep writing in it. It had helped her so much already. Why not let it continue to guide her? Anna smiled. She was ready for whatever the next chapter of her English journey would bring.